Hi folks, the following video you're going to see, I have to apologize for it because I'm speaking fast and it's really a brief overview of the situation. It doesn't go into depth and I leave out a lot of details only because of the time constraint. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, let's talk Georgia, but I'm going to give you a very brief history of the region. Georgia was part of the Soviet Union evil empire at one time, but it became a breakaway republic. And when it became a breakaway republic, incorporated in Georgia was also a region in northern Georgia called Ossetia, which is on the Russian border. The Russians some time ago issued the Ossetians Russian passports, so in case any harm came to them, the Russians would be able to say, well, you killed Russian citizens, so now we have a legitimate reason to get involved. Well, after a while, I think right at the beginning, the Ossetians said, you know, we don't want to become part of Georgia because we don't like Georgians. We want to become an independent nation. And the Georgians said, no, you're going to stay part of Georgia. So a plebiscite was held in Ossetia, and 99% of the people voted to become a separate nation, but it wasn't recognized by the UN because Georgians didn't get to vote in that election. So now, a few days before the Olympics, the Georgians roll into Ossetia to suppress the separatist movement in Ossetia. And as a result, the Russians get angry and they said, well, you're killing Russian citizens because they have Russian passports. So the Russian bear rolls south to plunder and pillage. Now those tanks and armaments on the border weren't just there a few minutes or a few hours. They were put in place months ago, just waiting for an opportunity to roll south. So now the Russians roll south, and what do? The barbarian does what they do best. They killed civilians, they're killing journalists, which we've seen on television, and they're robbing banks. What are they, Vikings? So, sometime earlier, the United States tried to get Poland to sign a treaty where the United States will install into Poland a missile defense system. And the Poles were a little hesitant about it. Well, as soon as they saw what the Russian barbarians did, the Poles says, give me that paper, I'm signing it. So now they signed the deal with the United States is going to put an anti-missile defense system there, which is a defense system, not an offensive system. It's not nuclear tipped. All it does is, if some hostile nation shoots a projectile into Europe that's nuclear tipped, the defense system is going to knock it out of the sky. Well, the Russians got upset about that. Now, why would you Russians get upset if you don't have any hostile plans towards Western Europe? You idiots in Western Europe with your jello spines need to wake up and see that the Russian bear has its designs on you. The Russians told the Poles, we're going to drop a bomb on you. Nah, 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 nah. They said, we're going to drop a nuclear bomb on you for signing that treaty. Now, you're telling me they don't have designs on the West? You know, this never would have happened in Georgia had Georgia been allowed to be part of NATO. But the Germans voted against having Georgia into NATO because the Western Europeans do not want to upset the Russians because they get 25% of their oil from Russia and 40% of their natural gas from Russia. So being the jello spines that they have, they didn't want to offend the barbarians in Moscow. So now this is what happens. Georgia gets invaded. All right, folks. We'll see what happens next. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be.
We are springing to the far for 300,000 more.